Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am BorderWise, and welcome to From the Depths ASMR edition, where we'll be taking a gentle flight around the planet of Nita in our new, silent, and relaxing ion jet. And we're just going to take a lovely trip around the world and appreciate the scenery, enjoy the quiet, being roughly 300 meters up in the air, not a soul around, and normally Nita is racked with strife, constant factions struggling for supremacy, but there's none of that today. Today, things are peaceful, things are quiet, things are restful. And so we're going to make the most of it. So we're going to start in the southwest, and we're going to fly east over the lands of Ariewick. Beautiful, deep blue seas. Miles and miles of just peaceful, rolling ocean. We're just going to think about the ocean for a moment. With our own planet, planet Earth, which we're also very fond of, you ever think about how the ocean covers most of the planet's surface? Think of just all that water, that cool, beautiful water. It's just been there for just so long. The same water which you drink whenever you're feeling thirsty probably was the same water that a dinosaur drank millions and millions of years ago. Just that same water molecule, just doing its thing, just going through the water cycle, just falling down as rain into the ocean, getting pulled down deep into the rolling currents beneath the waves, and eventually rising back up, to be evaporated by the sun, rising up as rain again, and who knows where it will fall next, and where the ocean breaks upon the land just continuously shapes the shore, and it's just something that goes on constantly, and we don't even think about it. But we can think about it while we're up here in the sky, just looking down upon everything, and everything just looks so small up here. Things that normally would seem like such a big deal just doesn't seem to have as much impact when you're up here. And the water is so clear you can see that the biggest mountains are beneath the waves. And you'd never know if you didn't look. Just think that underneath the ocean, just life carries on as it has for millions, if not billions of years. And then just for one special day, we get to be up here, and we get to see just the surface of it. Just that clear, rolling surface of such a mighty expanse of the elements. And it's quite humbling, really, to be up here and to think of that. So, just another thing that can occur to one as one is so high in the sky above everything. It's just how recent the opportunity is for something like this to happen. For us to take to the sky in just a mighty contraption of alloy and glass and steel and advanced technology and just fly so high and so fast in complete comfort and safety. And it's another humbling thought, because not that long ago, in the great scheme of things, none of us would have had such an opportunity. It's just another reminder that as time goes on, the greater the opportunity to appreciate the beauty of things, the greater the opportunity to appreciate the wonder of the world around us, the greater the opportunities to see what else can be found, what boundaries can be pushed, and what revelations may be uncovered as we go along. Just looking upon this expansive water and just seeing all the numerous events that could have transpired in just this narrow channel between two land masses. Just thinking about how today it's just calm and cool and clear, and just no sound except the beating of waves upon the shore and the cries of seabirds as they go about their daily business, and maybe the soft hum of ion engines as they carry us on our way across the skies of Niter. And let's just talk about the design of this aircraft. The Niter Tourbird really wanted to go and strive for a natural design, and I wanted to give as much visibility to the pilot as possible. The pilot, or the tourist, I guess you could call them as well. They can see straight down through the aircraft, so whatever is below them they can witness to their heart's content. And it could be quite daunting to look through the underside of a plane, but reassuring in that this glass, although it appears fragile, is very, very strong, and it will hold you, and it will support you, and you will be kept safe, and there is no reason to fear at all. And the paint on the wingtips and on the tailplanes is evocative of many, many species of bird, because they tend to have black on the ends of their wings and on the ends of their tails, right on the end of the primary feathers, because dark pigments, or at least the dark pigments that you find in feathers, they are proteins that are structurally quite strong, and the very tip of the wing is the one that is under the most stress in powered flight. So the amazing process of natural selection has caused the effect of the tips of wings tend to be darker than the rest of it, because they're under the most stress and they need to keep the whole thing together. But the Niter Tourbird, being a bird only in name, being made out of cold, strong, powerful metal, its structural integrity is perfectly fine, and no natural pigment could hope to match it, and so it is a perfect device to carry us on our tour of Niter. And as we fly over this unmarked interior desert, we can remind ourselves that even when the land appears barren and there is seemingly nothing to see, the closer you look, the more you will be able to see finer details. You will be able to see the grains of sand and the way that different grains of sand create different colors, different shades, different patterns, and if you look closer still, maybe you'd find what life dwells in the desert. You would find the various insects that burrow to escape the heat of the sun. You would find the spiders that prey on such insects. You might even find the reptiles, the amphibians, the mammals that call the desert their home. And we can all be thankful that as we fly above it all, we have the choice of where we be and what we do, what we see, and what we put up with. And it's just, as we leave the desert behind, you can take joy in the fact that all those desert creatures can be happy with their lot, because they are perfectly suited for that environment. And frankly, given the choice, there's no place they'd rather be. Just like there's no place we'd rather be right now than flying over Nita and seeing this vast alien landscape, its vast oceans. And so we come across, we're leaving Ariewick behind, going on to other places, and you can see how the ocean radically changes in color due to the micronutrients in the surface. It's just another reminder that we have this preconception in our minds of what things look like and what things are. We think of just water as blue. We think of the sky as blue. We think of the earth as brown. But the truth is just, you can't just stick a single label on such things and call it a day. There are innumerable variants to everything. Because now we've passed from where the water is mostly green, and we've passed into an area where it's almost completely clear, and almost the sand at the bottom is much paler, so the end result is quite a different feeling. Having a warm feeling as we passed over the waters of Ariewick. But now, as we're in Lightning Hood's territory, it's a cooler feeling, soothing, and we can think about how the water would feel different, how it would taste different, how it might even sound different if you really listen closely to how the waves move on the shoreline. And just think about how the waves happen, how winds so far away can drive an invisible current of water down low below the surface, and it's only when it gets near land that it starts to swell up, to build, and then finally to break. So whenever you're at the beach and you see a wave coming in, know that that wave has come a very, very long way to see you, and be thankful, because that wave could have ended up anywhere, but it came to you. It's like the parable of the star talking to the bird, saying, "Do you appreciate the light I send to you?" And the bird replies, "You are so far away, and your light takes such a long time to reach me, that there's no way that you could have sent that light specifically for me." And the star says, "Prove it." So, whether it's intentional or not, a gift is a gift. So, do not question it too much. Just take the joy which it brings you. And as we fly through the air, you'll notice that We have some very persistent seagulls that are following us as they do. The seagulls on Neter are some of the most persistent in the universe, capable of flying as fast as you can imagine. They are arguably theoretical seagulls, in that they're there because we expect them to be there. They're not there physically, because there's no way that a real flesh and blood bird would be able to keep up with this. Going at 64 meters a second, which still feels like very slow and gentle when you're high in the air and you just watch the landscape roll past you. And just because it's so far away, things seem to go more slowly. It's like when you look up at the night sky and you see the moon, and if you only glance at it, it seems as if it's not moving at all. Seems as if it's just hanging there, completely immobile, a great lantern in the sky, shining with reflected light borrowed from the sun. But in truth, it's moving very, very fast indeed. It's orbiting the Earth at incredible speed as the Earth spins and orbits the sun at speeds beyond the personal experience of humans. And the sun is passing through the galaxy at breakneck pace, but because everything is so large and so far away, speed is almost irrelevant. It doesn't matter whether you're going 50 miles an hour or 60 when the destination is so far away and there's so much distance to cover. So you might as well just go a little bit more slowly and just enjoy the road and the journey there for just that little bit longer. Because as it is often said, it's not the destination that matters, it's the journey. It's what you see, it's what you experience on the way there. And because once you get to the journey's end, it is alright for a while to be still, but odds are pretty good that another journey will soon follow. And the journey doesn't need to be a physical one. You can go on a journey in your mind. You can broaden your mind with knowledge, with experience. You need only walk a few paces in order to see something new, something that you would not have seen before, something that could challenge you, that could maybe change you for the better. So that's something to try whenever you feel ready, is try something new. It doesn't have to be a big thing, just has to be something you haven't done before. It can even just be a new variation on something you have done before. Like this video. I've never done ASMR before, but that didn't stop me. Here we are flying across Neter, over a vast alien ocean. And this is new. This is something I've never seen before. It's something that we can always appreciate in video games. It's just the vastness of space. Because when you look up at the night sky, you get a sense of vastness. But given that you are bound to the earth and you cannot reach up and touch that immensity of space above you, it almost doesn't feel real. Whereas in the virtual world, you can travel at whatever speed you like. You can zoom all the way out. You can look upon things from great distances, and you truly get a sense of scale. You get a sense that everything, provided you are patient enough, and if you move at the right speed and with the right methods, that vastness far away, you can reach up and touch it. Which just goes to show how powerful an illusion fiction, including video games, can be, because it's virtual, it's not real, and yet, in your mind, it can just feel so real, so tangible, so touchable. Sometimes there's the time that you don't even want to wake up, that you don't want to wrench yourself away from the beautiful illusion. But once you push past it, the beauty of reality outclasses any illusion you care to name. And that's why we're flying above Nita. Because when you're all alone with your thoughts, you just see a landscape unfold underneath you, and see the stones of the ocean turn from yellow to black. You can let your mind just wander. You can think on what truly matters. You can think on the way that the stones change from brown to red, just like what we were saying before, is how everything has variables. Just you have to keep a mind open, gotta keep your eyes open, because if you look at the stones and you think these are the same thing but different, you can realize that most things can be described that way. They are the same but different. The yellow stones in the ocean we just flew over, they are the same as the red stone of the island. They are the same but different, just in a few key ways. Just like the red stone of the island is the same as the alloy that makes up the Nita tourbird we are flying in right now. The difference being only that the alloy has been shaped by sapient hands. It has been molded. It has been tempered. It has been forged into something new. Something that need not ever touch the ground. And that is just how things go, things transforming from one state to the other. The engines of this craft is translating the energy of atoms through fusion, translating it into heat, just enough to propel this craft into the sky. And from there, those warm particles are impacting the air around them, each one knocking one, then the other, then all the others around them, creating a beautiful butterfly effect. And so in a sense, this plane is a butterfly in that it affects everything immediately near it. And so are we all. It's like what we were saying before. The water molecule which you drink was once drank by a prehistoric life, and you've affected that molecule. Where was it before it entered you? it was somewhere else. But now, thanks to you, it's somewhere else again. And now it's going in a different direction. So how might that affect the rest of the universe? Because everything affects the thing just to the side of it. And since everything on this planet and on the planet of Nature is right next to something else, even if it only be the air molecules surrounding it, everything affects everything else. The exception to that is just in the deep darkness of space, which is mostly nothing. But even then, that is debatable, because you speak to the scientists, and they will tell you stories of dark matter, and all kinds of things beyond our immediate perception and our immediate understanding. And at the end of the conversation, you just think that once again we are so enabled by our senses, but at the same time restricted by them. When you look upon this landscape and you see the beauty of it unfold, the greens, the yellows, the browns, you are not seeing the same thing as what the seagulls trailing us are seeing. They can see more colors than us. Their eyes have a different field of view, and so they see the landscape truly differently. And as we fly over, we can think that perception of reality is sometimes indistinguishable from reality, and knowing about our reality, at the end of the day, it is a consensus through methodologies. Now we are finally turning north as we head farther and farther away from where we started, over great mountains, over vast oceans of Niter, and our journey continues. And as we fly over mountains, you can just think that mountains are created not from nothing. Mountains are one of those things that appear unchangeable. They appear too vast to ever have been temporary. But no, where once there was a mountain, there might not be a mountain anymore. And every mountain is either the product of slow forces moving inexorably towards a single point, or through the crust of the planet breaking apart and sending boiling hot rock up and forming something new, a bump in the land where before there was nothing. And it's a humbling thought again that the planet changes itself because almost nothing else can. And just we owe so much to how the planet moves, to how the planet changes, to how the planet shifts from one state to the other. Just thinking about it is enough to make you appreciate life and the opportunities we can make with it. And just that moment up here in the sky just makes it all seem to make sense and all be calm, because the universe, for good or ill, is unfolding as it is unfolding, and we are along for the ride, So as we head north, we're heading towards areas of bitter conflict, and we can take joy in the fact that there is no such conflict here at the moment. We can fly over unblemished scenes of water and soil. We can think on flight and how human beings are really only the fifth category of beings to ever accomplish it. Insects, pterosaurs, birds, bats, and now us, flying. Being able to essentially stand on air, move on air, make it so that gravity does not have as much of a hold on us as it otherwise would. And as we fly over the ocean once again, you can think of how recent it has been that we have accomplished flight. It's just in the 1910s the first true flying machines were created. And then, just scarcely 100 years later, we can create such beautiful, powerful machines that can go fly faster than the speed of sound. They can carry us higher than ever before. They can take us wherever we want to be. And even space itself is within our reach. So it is truly something to be optimistic about, that where flight is possible, almost anything is. And as we fly over the ocean, we can think about just how the planet holds itself to itself, how everything comes together in a perfect synergy of mechanisms to facilitate life, to facilitate everything we need, a magnetic field to disrupt and prevent harmful radiation from reaching us, an atmosphere with multiple layers of gases to keep the planet warm, to keep harmful radiation out, and to create the weather that means that life can flourish. And it has been so long in the making, and now we are here to enjoy this brief moment we have in the grand history of the universe. It's just perfect. Sometimes you just look at the state of things and just let your anxieties go, and you can think to yourself, here and now is a perfect moment. And on that note, I hope you've enjoyed this flying tour of Neter. We have not quite managed to circumnavigate this beautiful planet, but hopefully we can continue this journey some other time. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps. Thank you to my current supporters, and I will see you next time in From the Depths, or hopefully we can talk again and relax again soon. Farewell.